Recording.
Recording. Fantastic.
Okay.
Matter, matter. We
Yes.
like it.
So first
Yeah.
of all, Smiley, thank you very much for coming. This is really nice that you're here. It's really nice, to that you gave a little bit of your time for us. And this is like an amateur podcast that we do as Vivocate fans, and we go on live basically every Tuesday, sometimes every Monday. Yeah, it's just a nice project. We like to cheer up the team a little bit and to have a place for the fans to hang around. So we have a couple of questions, and also, I have to thank you for the title because we've been waiting for 11 years. So it's good that you're part of it. 11
No,
years
no
is not,
problem.
it's not yesterday.
I did everything. I did everything. No problem, guys.
We know
Absolutely
you.
cinema.
We know you're a big part of it. So thank you very much. So I think Brett's gonna start with the first question, and you can answer. Yeah.
Oh, hello, Smiley. Thank you very much, man. It's a pleasure be here talking to you. And the first question is, how was the transition from player to coach for you?
Um, mm, well, it was um, it kind of happened naturally, or I don't know if I should say naturally, but uh, it happened in a way that was I was prepared for it because at the start of this year I was evaluating my options as a player, um, and some of my player options that I was considering either fell through or I thought like continuing around Seal in Brazil was the better option. So it was something that I was prepared for in a way that, or in a sense that I came to Kid Academy for this year with the intention of starting to coach the year after, so 2026. That was like most likely the plan, because just to go back in my mind and refresh everyone's mind a bit, in the off season, I knew I wasn't continuing in Kid's main lineup. So I was either looking for other options in Brazil as a player or options as a player in Europe. And I had a few opportunities in Europe um, that obviously was like way more pay than it would be in academy here. But like obviously I'm very close to Chris to Seal, and he's been kind of giving me this hint for a long time ever since we worked all the way back in 2021, I think, or 22 in Vitality B in Germany, that I should become a coach. So I kind of knew, like when I made the decision that okay, I'm not going to join a team in Turkey or any place in Europe, and the thing with Fluxo fell through. I kind of just made the decision. Okay, I'm going to go academy. I'm ready to play a year in academy here, win academy as a player, and then start coaching. Obviously, things didn't go exactly as planned. Obviously, now in hindsight, I'm very happy it didn't, because I started coaching earlier in the third split of LTA. So yeah, that's kind of the run through. And for me, as a person, like how it feels. Obviously, you, s- you I still have some feelings that like I wish I could keep playing. Like I think that's natural in the transition period. I actually did talk. I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying this. Like I talked briefly to Revan, the Shopify coach. As I left the building one night, I remember he told me that because he worked with a lot of players who became coaches, and he said that it's usually
Mhm.
a like transition period of like 1 year or one year and a half, where you either make your mind up, like okay, this coaching shit is not for me, I'm just gonna stop or become a player again, or you just keep coaching. Honestly, for me, I don't feel like I need that full year or one year and a half. Maybe it's because of the success I've had, but I just feel like this is probably gonna be it for me. I'm gonna continue coaching and continue um, building my skills as a coach and continue my career in this direction. But like for sure, it's different. Like you leave the stage, your job is already done, mostly in preparation, and then you do some of it in draft, but and then you maybe give a little pep talk, and that's it. Then you leave the stage, and then it's like inshallah, it's in the player's
Mm.
hands,
Mhm.
and that's obviously something that's I think the biggest difference is you're sitting there backstage sweating hoping that your players will do the things you try to teach them, or the things that you know they can do. But yeah, like so far it's been a very humbling experience. It's been a very no, overall very positive experience for me. Like I think seeing the whole structure, seeing the whole process from like a completely different perspective, like no emotions involved. I'm way more objective now as a coach. I can look at situations without being in them and having like a personal attachment to them. It's kind of opened my eyes in a way too about the game. So yeah, it's been positive. I know that answer was super long. I'm sorry. I just went on.
That's awesome.
No.
Yes. No. Thanks for answering. And I mean, the second question is kind of going that way too. Like, for example, the question is like if you feel any will to play when you see your players competing. You know, if you still feel any will to compete.
Yeah, no. As I said previously, like for sure you feel that little urge, like oh shit, I wish that was me on stage. Like, of course that's not just gonna go away. I think obviously you're still in the same like kind of atmosphere. You also it's weird because my dream as a player was always like make worlds, and then first split as a coach I make worlds, which is a bit absurd, you know. Um, but at the same time, you kind of like it was kind of quick for me to like drop that feeling where like I wish that was me on stage. I think it's more like I miss a little bit like maybe the adrenaline of competing, because it's a huge difference like going to the studio every week and like being on stage and like making the difference, or having the game in your hands, versus like you show up, you talk to the guys, you do the draft and you leave, and you watch them play. It for sure like a lot of the adrenaline, a lot of the like competition, the feeling from competing directly is lost. But yeah, it's like as I said, I mean not as I said in this interview, but as I told myself, like I always thought that when I was done as a player, I was probably gonna look to do something within the scene. I wasn't sure yet if I was fit to be a coach, or if I wanted to work in organization, or if I wanted to work somewhere adjacent to esports. But I knew that I wanted to somehow use my experience directly in esports as a player, and work use that experience for my next work. So that could also just be like as a personal coach or a content creator or something like that. I just didn't really have the time to figure that out. The coaching thing kind of just happened to stumble upon it, and for now I'm very happy with it. So yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I have a little question that is not planned, but it's just, hearing you talking, I think
Yeah.
I felt a little curious to ask you that. Like, would you say that you were the kind of player that were more like, using like a motorcycle, how can I say, metaphor right now, that were more interested in how the bike was working than to drive the bike?
I understand what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
And also, by the way, if like by me talking, you feel curious about something, or like you want to ask extra questions, I don't mind. Like I like this kind of vibe, anyways, where it's like the conversation flows. So
Okay.
don't worry about it. But yeah, I think to be honest, in the beginning, I really wasn't.
Okay.
In the beginning, I think I was just a little kid gaming, and I did not put much thought into what I was doing, to be honest. Like I look back and I always think like, wow, I was so stupid. Uh, I just play the game. Like for example, just how I even became like a pro player is like ridiculous when I think about it, because I was just playing like League a lot because I enjoyed it with my friends and whatnot. And I was like playing every role except AD carry, and I got stuck in Diamond 1 in like season 4 or something. And then or season 5 even, and then I started just like, okay, I'm gonna play the only role I haven't touched, which was AD carry, which I was horrible at. And then it turns out I wasn't so horrible at it, and that was the role that clicked for me. I broke my curse of being stuck Diamond 1. I went Masters, I went Challenger in my first season playing AD carry. And I was just playing, like, to be honest, like there were some key people I met in my career, I think, that like actually taught me like game theory and like concepts, because I was just dude, I was just playing. I was just pushing waves. And I think I had really good mechanics at the time. So I was just like gapping people mechanically and like outplaying without much thought. Which, I mean, not to be crass or anything, but like kinda is a bit of the feeling I got coming to Brazil in the beginning. Was like there's a lot of kids out there who started here that was kind of like me in the beginning, which also is very motivating to me now as a coach. That like I think I could go to so many teams here and help so much. And Chris too, when he came here, I think just building the fundamentals for certain players in the team when I just joined was like, wow, like these people really need that. Because I had a lot of experience in Europe. I met certain players that taught me the basics and whatnot. And when I came here, I was like absolutely shocked how low the general quality was, like of like macro play. But I was also surprised by like the individual talent of certain players. So like the micro level was incredibly intense, but the macro knowledge I felt like was really not good, you know. So I think to answer the question, sorry, it became long-winded again. I think
no problem.
I think towards my career, like as I developed, I think I became more interested in how the bike worked. But in the beginning, I was just driving that bike. I don't care if I didn't have brakes on or whatever. Like I was driving that shit into a wall until I either crashed or until I won. So won the race.
Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Smiley, you are our father. You can talk a lot. You can talk.
You know,
o
relax,
tanto que você
relax and
quiser,
talk.
cara.
We are,
Relax and talk.
We're not in a hurry. We are not at all in a hurry.
Yeah, no, me neither. So it's all good.
Okay.
Talking about the cross-conference experience, how was the cross-conference experience, and what are the expectations for Worlds?
I think the experience. I mean, okay, I have a lot of opinions about like LTA. I'm sure a lot of people do. I just want to start off by saying like I do think it was a bit of a failed experiment, or I'm not sure exactly what Riot tried to achieve with like the merging of the regions. But I do think the cross conference itself, at least in summer, I didn't have any experience with it before when there was a boot camp, right? But the summer cross conference experience was really, really cool. And also I think really helpful for our region, because when you think about it, like a team like Red Canids, just as an example, I'm even like just distancing myself from the discussion. Imagine a team like that where it's like they promoted these rookies, or they picked up Kase, who's like not a rookie, but you know what I mean, a new player. They get that experience to go to America to scrim against the NA teams, to compete against them, to beat Shopify, which is the third seed of NA, which is not a joke at all. It's a serious win. I am a bit sad that might be lost, you know. I think that was very valuable in itself. And now talking about us, like when we came there and we played that first match against FlyQuest, like we didn't stand a chance, and they had a sub top laner, you know. But just throughout those few weeks there and going to Dallas, I think we upped our level a lot, just in terms of mentality too. That like, holy shit, like these guys are not that good. And I knew that already. I'm not gonna lie, because I watched a lot of league, right? Like especially now as a coach, I have even more time. I think as a player, I was always one of the players to watch the most league in general. But now as a coach, I have even more time to do that. So I watched NA quite a bit throughout the years, and I thought that Shopify and 100 Thieves were like not good teams, just straight up. I knew FlyQuest was a solid team. So I already came into the cross conference with the like knowledge that if my players don't have like some kind of mental block, or if they go to that stage and they show what they're really capable of, I knew that 100 Thieves were like definitely beatable. And I even felt like, even though our scrims were fine, but our mood, I think, going into the 100 Thieves game was not the best within the team. I still felt like in the back of my head, I was like, we're favorites tomorrow against 100 Thieves. So yeah, I hope that obviously CBLOL being back, LCS being back, I still hope that there will be some kind of implementation of this cross conference before Worlds, before MSI, because I do think it's such a good experience to have before this like big international jump, where you have to actually play the best European teams, best Korean teams, etc. So even though I'm really happy that CBLOL is back as a brand and LCS is back as a brand, because I think that should have never happened where they merged them into one. I hope that Riot will encourage some kind of like international competition, but in the Americas, in some way, So
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really good. And just a little bit about your work in Vivocade, like what's being said and what we see in the BTS and things like this. Like we always see that your main role is to help the bot lane. I mean, especially in draft and things like this. And what do you think was the most challenging thing, especially like when you deal with like a kind of a rookie with Mortius and Trymbi, which is like a very experienced player? Like, what was the biggest challenge to make those two play together?
I mean, I can start by saying that, I mean, naturally, as an AD carry player or as an ex-bot laner, I was gonna be the main guy behind the bot lane, and that was gonna be my initial focus. But I do also want to add that, like, I think it's a little bit like when you read online, I understand why it happens, because obviously we have a bunch of different coaches and people want to know, like, people want to simplify things in their mind to understand better. So for example, people think about Ben and they only think about draft. They think about me and they only think about Mortius. Obviously, I came in as like the second coach, so I do think I have a lot of like general impact too. I do a lot of the reviews. I do a lot of the preparation for the whole team, like reminding them of what I think is important to win games. But obviously, coming in, a lot of my focus was specifically, and a lot of my specific knowledge was around bot lane. So yes, I did help Mortis a lot, and I do the 4-5, for example, on stage. I do the 4-5 draft or like the bot lane draft. Usually it happens 4-5, but it can happen. For example, Nico on the first 3 against 100 Thieves. That was like my idea, for example. So everything bot lane related about draft. But then when it comes to the team, I am like the second coach, and then. But okay, anyways, just to clear that up. And Ben also does. Ben also does more than just draft. Like he has a lot of like ideas about the game and input there too. So I just feel like sometimes it feels a little bit demeaning when I see people just talk about Ben online and it's just about draft. But I think he's actually like a really solid coach overall too. And he has a lot because he was my coach in academy too. I don't want to get that out of the way. But yeah, when it comes to the challenge of helping this bot lane, or I mean, yeah, I want to say it because I do think both Mortis and Trymbi are extremely talented players. Trymbi obviously being on a bit of a higher caliber coming in, that there's no secret in that. So it was a challenge because I think they did not click that well, as we saw in the first 2 splits. And I think Mortis coming in, he had that really good rookie mentality where he just wants to listen and learn. He puts his head down, works, listens, learns. I just think before I came, it was a little bit lopsided. I think from my perspective, because I was in academy, I would still watch the main team scrims from time to time, and I would also be in the room or like hear what's going on and whatnot. And my feeling was that Mortis was getting a little bit misguided. I think the feedback he was getting was not that easy for a rookie to understand, or sometimes it was very like conflicting. So he would get like feedback where it's like, yeah, just an example, like, why are you not moving here? Why are you not moving here? Why are you not moving here? And then I think he takes that too literally, where like now he's moving too much. Now he's not catching enough mid waves. Now he's not thinking enough about himself and his own position within the game. So I think I kind of came as like his AD carry like helper and being like, bro, you're the fucking carry, like I know that you gotta like be in the right spots and you gotta think about the map, but like overall, like over everything else, you need to think about, I'm gonna be fine in the game, I'm gonna get my items, and I'm gonna be in a position where I can deal damage, like the real fundamentals. And it's a challenge because, like, for example, Trymbi has very strong ideas of how the game wants to play, how to draft, and all that stuff, and he has a lot of good ideas. I just think he's not like the best at maybe at for example, how do you say it? Communicating
Like,
them in a way that Mortis was like able to understand really clearly, you know. So
okay, I understand.
Mhm.
so I think I also became a little bit of like a translator of things. Like for example, when they're discussing lane, it's like Trymbi is very black and white. It's like, dude, why don't you do this? Like it's over if you just walk one step forward here. And I'm like,
Mhm.
but yeah, but Mortis, like if you slow push this way before, you will be in a better spot. Like like I
Yeah.
simplified and try to be like the little translator between them two also. But then I don't want to take, because I also see a lot of like people giving me credit for Mortis' growth, and while I do think I deserve a bit of that, I also want to say that I think Mortis by his own also had an insane like glow up. I think this cross conference he played with so much heart. I think even the brutal stomp against FlyQuest, the first series, I think Mortis did everything he could. No joke. As an AD carry in a series like that, I think he was very impressive. So yeah, I want to commend him too, and give a lot of credit where credit is due in Mortis' improvement that he
Mhm.
deserves. I can take a little bit of a shine, like sure, but I think mostly it comes from within, and I'm just like I see myself as like a guide,
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's very interesting. It's very interesting that you say that, because I'm a performer too. I sing opera. Kind of crazy,
Oh,
but yes,
oh,
this is what I do. Yeah,
damn, dude.
and
Yeah.
That's a
sometimes
fucking
there,
bomb.
it's kind
That's
of crazy.
awesome.
It's kind
That's
of crazy.
awesome.
But like, for
Cool.
example, sometimes there are singers that like that can really sing very well, but they don't know how to explain why they sing very well.
Mm,
And then you have like voice coaches that maybe don't sing that well, but they are very good in teaching
yeah,
you how to sing that well. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not,
yeah.
if you are a very good player, doesn't mean that you can teach other players to do it.
Yeah.
Even
No,
if you, yeah.
that's a really good way of explaining it, because I think that's Trimby in a nutshell. And I think like here's how I see it. For example, the way Chris teaches is really really good for everyone.
Mhm.
But the way that, like for example, Trimby, when he's talking about a situation in game or like in review, I think me who came from Europe and I had a lot of game experience and game knowledge, not to like suck my own dick or whatever,
Mhm.
but I feel like I can be like I can read between the lines and like see what he means. But for example, someone who might not know as much or might not be as good as listening, whatever you want to call it, they might
Mhm.
just hear one thing and be like, "Oh, but what is this guy talking about?" That makes no sense.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's a little bit of that. I think just the communication between players was not the greatest.
Okay.
And still, it's not like perfect, obviously. But I think it's much better now than it was the first two splits from what I heard and from what I could see from my limited perspective.
Awesome.
All
No,
right.
okay.
But
Go ahead,
talking
Renan.
about Mortus, I was in the trincheiras. I was
He was
one.
in the trenches.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
defending
yeah,
that little
yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
No, the amount of hate he was getting, like, it actually made my heart hurt. And he like basically replaced me, and I was like, man, it's too
Mhm.
much, dude. Like,
Yes.
it's brutal, bro.
Yeah, the fans in Brazil are so passionate. When they love you, they love you.
Yeah,
Like you are their mom, and when they
yeah,
hate
yeah.
you, they hate
They
you
hate you
like you
with
are the
they hate you
worst
with
enemy
love, dude.
ever.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
On the talk about the fans, Ismail, what do you think about the VKS fans?
About like the fans in general.
No, just
Yeah,
the Cade fans, the that like me, Onda, like Shakomuna, and everyone
Nah,
in
you guys,
the.
you guys fucking suck, man. Like,
that's fair. That's
nah,
fair.
no. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry, don't quote that. You don't have to cut that, but like, I'm joking, guys. Okay. No, but on a real note, like, I think I'm extremely lucky. Okay, I'm not gonna like shit on the other team's fans too much because I think that's smart, not smart. But I do genuinely mean it when I say I mean, especially now, because let's be real, maybe there wasn't as much Kid fans before Chris came and we started like competing and winning. But there are some OGs out there. You guys are for sure two of them.
Mhm.
And without a doubt, like I mean it when I say that Kid has the best fans in Brazilian League of Legends. Because like it's just something that's really apparent when I see even the discourse when the first two splits went really bad. Like yes, it was of course toxic at sometimes, and it's normal because you want your team to win. But I still feel like it was like respectful in a way. Most of it I saw. But for example, when I see Pain struggling, like it's just a cesspool of shit, bro. It's like horrible. Like I am obviously like on Twitter like quite a bit, and I try to connect to the Brazilian scene when I come over because I'm like I was clueless. So I do think the Cade fans are special in a way that like even when you guys are being negative, I feel like it's just it's in generally a respectful way, you know, and I appreciate that a lot. And I think at least for me, who is a person who tries to, even though I'm not the best at social media, I try to stay connected to the scene, kinda, because I think that's one of the most beautiful thing about Brazilian League of Legends too. Like when I came from ERLs, the national leagues in Europe, where people kind of stopped caring, or there was only like certain French teams that people cared about, blah blah blah. Like coming here, where everyone, like every team has a fan base, a solid fan base, or at least most teams. That was something really cool for me. And yeah, Keith fans are really cool. I also want to say, like, I know it's a bit like not controversial, but I do want to give a bit of a shout out to Red Canids fans too. Even though I had like this beef or whatever with them, every time I met a Red Canids fan, like for example BGS last year, or at the studio, or outside of like playing against them and screaming at them, they've always been really cool too. I think like they actually have some cool fans too. Um, but Pain fans, like maybe there's just too many. Maybe it's a bit like K Corp, but they remind me of K Corp fans in Europe, which I think are the worst fan base in Europe, like of the big clubs or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, and not to say like I'm not comparing now. I'm saying VKS fans are awesome by their own, but I also can't help to talk about the general scene a little bit, you know, because I feel like it's like you guys really stand out, you know, for me.
I agree. I'm biased to say that, but I really agree.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I'm obviously biased too, but like I try to be as objective as I can, and I generally do mean that. Of course, it's easy to say when you're winning, blah blah blah, but I also feel like I was struggling, you know, when I came here first to Brazil as a player, and even when I was struggling, I got a lot of support from people, especially like DMs and like some small comments. Like it does help a lot, you know.
Mhm.
So it's nice, yeah.
Amazing, and a little bit more in like I would say the extroverting, the extroverted side of this interview.
Yeah.
Uh, I really feel a little bit ashamed to ask you that because you lived in Germany, and I lived around Germany a little bit too in the past, so I
Okay.
know the
Okay.
quality of the beer there. But Brad wants to know, what is your favorite Brazilian beer,
Oh.
if there is
Hmm.
one, you know?
No, they're for sure. I mean, okay, this is difficult because the best beer I ever had was gifted by some fans.
Okay,
By oh my god, I'm so bad with names. I hate my life. But you know, there's three fans who's like a little group,
okay,
three girls. It's like
okay.
Pixie. Do you guys know them? You must know them. Please help me. I
I
mean,
don't think so.
they
Yeah.
sent gifts to the players, and they sent me and Lena a gift, and it was three
Okay.
beer bottles from one of the girls, and one of the beers was like exceptional. It was I don't remember if she said it was from the south or something, but it was from her region of Brazil, and I wish
Okay.
I could give you a name, but I let's okay. When I go out to a bar here, it's usually just like original. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Like I'm basic like that, but I like to try beer. I'm just super bad with like remembering if I tried like a particular one or whatnot. But My go-to is just
Very good.
original when I go
Very good.
out
Light.
for lunch or something. Yeah.
Some light beer. Very
But I
good.
like everything. I like all kinds of beers except ale. I don't like ale, like the dark ale.
Okay.
Hmm.
I like IPAs. I like pale ales, but like the really like Guinness, like the
Yes.
dark ale. I think
Yeah.
it's a bit too much for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I understand. That's too bitter. Yes.
Yeah.
And life is bitter enough sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I
I
got
feel you
you.
on that one.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, talking about the bottling, I and mix with this about beers and vacation. We saw that between second and third split, you took Trymbi on a trip to enjoy Brazil, just a little bit.
Very smart. Very smart. Very smart.
Very, very, very smart. And he
Yeah,
came
this was awesome.
and he came back with a different attitude. I guess he came more communicative with the, I don't know how I am saying right, but comunicando melhor.
Like communicating better. Like a
Understand.
little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that time together with you helped him in some way?
This I'm not sure about. I do think me being in the team helped him a lot because like we were not. It's not like we were like best friends or anything, but even when I was in academy, like we would live in the same apartment. We would talk a lot. We would go home together. We would go for some dinners and stuff. So I think he felt more comfortable, probably. And I mean Ben being with the team full time too, like because even if like even with Kisa there, like I think Trymbi felt maybe a little bit like isolated, being like especially now I think with Mirror coming over, like he would just be the only gringo or not the only gringo, but you know what I mean, like he'd be the only European player in the
Yep.
team. I'm not sure about the vacation it would help a lot, but it was a very nice vacation, and the way it happened was just like I think Trymbi talked a lot, like we talked quite a lot over the year before the first split, and I was like, ever since I came to Brazil, I was like to Lena, like we need to go on a vacation in Brazil. Like what the fuck are we doing? Like we're already in Sao Paulo. Like why are we not just going vacation anywhere in Brazil? Because anywhere in Brazil would be completely new and super cool. There was something I was planning for a long time, but I just couldn't get to do it for different reasons. So I think it was just really nice that we got away. And then I was just like thinking, because Trymbi told me throughout the year that he wanted a break, or like he wanted also to go somewhere. So I just invited him. Like me and Lena was going to go on a vacation, and I just invited him, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And it was kind of like a last minute thing, but this was really really awesome. I mean, it's probably for sure one of my best memories from Brazil. Like from my time in Brazil, even though I've had a lot of professional success and whatnot. Just life, like going to Yurakoakara, I think it was probably the most, I mean, for sure the most unique, like, how do you say it? Not atmosphere, but environment. Naturally, I've been in like in my life, like just seeing the dunes and a lot of the nature around there, like was so fucking cool. Like it was really really awesome. And yeah, obviously Trymbi being there was really cool too. And I think we got a bit closer probably, and maybe that helped him. I don't want to speak too much on like his behalf, but I'd like to think that besides the vacation, I think yes, me being in the team also helped him like express himself more, hopefully. And yeah, so maybe it's a bit mix of both, and maybe it's just him feeling more comfortable in the team, feeling more comfortable in Brazil too, that made him communicate better or more whatnot. But yeah,
Pretty good. I feel like it's always a cultural shock. There is always a cultural shock first, you know?
yeah, for
It's
sure.
yeah, it's really nice when you integrate yourself, when you understand a little bit of the communication and the culture. It's everything is much easier, you know. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Like going back to the subject of the words now. Like, do you think is there any chance that SKT and Jane G are gonna match the Kate from the practice mode? Do you feel there is a chance there to upset those Korean teams?
You mean like on stage, or that if we're gonna scrim them or not?
I mean, on stage, you see, BO1,
Mm.
you know, everything is possible.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Actually, is it okay if I just grab some water? Because I forgot my water bottle at
Okay,
home.
okay, okay.
Absolutely.
I'm just
Do
gonna
it.
grab some water. Okay, really quick. I
Okay.
remember the question.
Okay,
No
go
problem,
there,
no
go
problem.
there.
Go ahead.
Yo.
Yeah.
No,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I think we
it
can
was-
win.
Yeah, it was not like I was shocked by the question. I literally just was first as fuck. No, but
It's all right.
okay. My perspective is very simple. Like best of ones, you can pretty if you're a decent fundamental team with like some individual edges in your squad, I think you can almost beat any team in the world. I mean, I think for example, Gen G, BLG. Actually, no, I wouldn't count BLG, but Gen G and maybe Hanwha Life. I think those two in particular could be very difficult, even a best of one, because I think they just consistently keep such a high individual level where I think the gaps you can find are so slim, even in a BO1 for a team like us. So just those two, I think might be difficult, just to be completely honest. And then I mean T1, we'll see if they even get past IG. You know, you never know. Like
That's
there's
true.
a world. I don't know if
true.
it's a best of 3 or best of 5, but if it's a best of 3, I can definitely see IG winning. If it's a best of 5, probably T1 will just win. But like the rest of the teams, I just think like in a best of 1, we can just win. Like it can happen. Like I don't think it's like that insane even. Obviously, there's like a tire gap for example, let's say beating AL versus beating Fnatic. Like Fnatic is obviously going to be much easier and much more doable. But I just want the boys to really go in with the mentality that even if it's fucking Gen G or HLE, like why not? It's the best of 1. Like maybe they fuck up
Yeah.
the draft, maybe they get off to a bad start, maybe they're a bit extra jet lagged or they ate some bad food the day before. But like just play your game and see. Like for example, let's talk about FlyQuest for a second. Like they took Gen G to 5 games at Worlds. They took BLG to 5 games at I don't know if it was MSI Awards, but and we should have beaten FlyQuest in that game 1, in my opinion. Like I know it looked really bad, but like Kaisa 2-0, the game state we were in, the draft we had, for me that was like a really, really good draft. So Kaisa getting those 2 kills should basically be GG, and we know it. And then we stomped them game 3. I mean, I'm not saying that we're a better team than FlyQuest by any merit of imaginable. Of course not. They beat us, but like if we can take that game 1 against FlyQuest, why can't we take that game 1 against a team like KT, like top esports? You know what I mean? So I hope we can come in with that killer instinct. I hope that these losses to FlyQuest and this win against 100 Thieves kind of like takes the wow factor away a little bit from the players going to Worlds. I think, of course, it's just gonna be there no matter what you do. It's fucking the first Worlds for most of our team. But yeah, I am silently optimistic that we
Very
can
good.
take some games. But then again, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like I'm pretty honest person, I would say in general. I also wouldn't be shocked if we just lose at Worlds, like 0-3. Like to be completely honest, like it wouldn't be like a mega surprise. I think this, especially with this new format at Worlds, it is a bit of luck of the draw too. I think we've seen that multiple times now with like Western teams. Like I don't remember who it was, but I remember there was 1 year, maybe it was 2 years ago, 1 year ago, where there was like 2 NA teams in the last bracket against each other, and meanwhile G2 gets like fucking BLG or something, you know? Like you never
Yeah.
know. Like you can lose the first game to Gen G, and then HLE lost to like AL in the first round, so you get HLL second round, and then you get like another Asian team third round, like, and then it's hard, you know. So
Yeah.
we'll see, you know. It's for sure a bit of luck involved, no doubt about it.
That's good. Well, yeah. If if the luck is not on our side in that matter, then then you know we just enjoy the show. You know,
Yeah,
we're
no,
used to
but
that. Yes.
and for sure, I still want to be able to put up a fight no matter what, you know. So we'll see. I'm hopeful.
Absolutely. And
I
in that same direction. Okay, Brett, you can talk. Sorry.
no, I'm just saying I really believe in you, guy. Really, really, really
Yeah.
believe you. I'm saying to everyone, we will be in the finals. Okay. Can't believe I
Yeah,
we will see Gizemes showing off his shirt and oh doing everything there. And my English now is very good. I should say this,
Don't-
but but really, I really believe that we will see the best performance of the Brazil in this world. I really believe
yeah.
in you, man. Really, really
No,
believe in you.
that is the goal. That's always been the goal, you know. With is what Chris has been talking about for a long time. Is like internationally is like winning Brazil is one thing, but doing something internationally, that's what really matters. And I think we've all seen that now too with like the format changes. Like we want CBLOL to have two spots for MSI for Worlds, you know. We want to
Mhm,
have like a team like Red Canids to have this like international experience and for
mhm,
our region to grow and for us to eventually compete because like if that doesn't happen, like sadly, we're gonna fade into obscurity. You know, like that's just reality. Even the fans can be like the fans are amazing. The fans are what kept this region alive for so long, despite not having international success. But um, at some point, you know, like you gotta. I feel like you just gotta like unleash the talent that this region has and like show it to the world. You know, that's it's really frustrating when I see like for example, and I also like once again I don't want shit on anyone, but like I came here and Loud won in spring, right? Like when
yep.
the first year I was here. They go to MSI, and then I see Loud in MSI just lose to themselves because they don't know how level one swaps works. And I'm just like watching it. I'm like, what a waste, you know? What a shame.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
really, what a shame.
Yep.
That's how I felt watching that. I watched our best team lose to themselves, like lose the game level one without any like interaction with enemy team just because you don't know how the swaps work. Like, come on. So
Yeah.
I really do want to stress that I want us to do good internationally. I know that Riot has made it very clear that we're gonna have to earn this second spot.
Hmm.
Some people say we deserve it already. I'm not so sure. I don't mind having to earn it, and
Hmm.
that's what we're fighting for, you know. And so I really hope that we can show something. Also not to be like an excuse Andy, but one hard thing for us that we have to accept is also the fact that we are, even though my team is traveling now today,
Yeah.
teams like FlyQuest has already been in Korea for like a week to get used to the jet lag, to scrimation teams. So not only are we the underdogs when it comes to regions, we're also the underdogs when it comes to preparation. But I think I just really want the boys to be like, fuck all that noise, you know, like we're still gonna come in and play our game. So I hope we can, despite all the odds being stacked against us, you know, I really
Hmm.
hope we can show something and earn those extra international spots for Brazil. So yeah.
All right. All right.
All right.
It's very interesting that you say that. So, do you think there is also an economic, problem, like for the region? For example, like could we be in China earlier? For example, with an entire roster. What do
Um,
you think?
I mean, here's what I'll say to that. I think
Hmm.
hopefully, eventually, that's gonna be the way to go. Um, but like now, it was the first time we won. Obviously, the first time we went to Worlds.
Hmm.
But I think for me, I would really hope that, like for example, already Fury are showing that they can compete. They beat Cloud9 at EWC, for example. They took G2 to 5 games at MSI, and now
Hmm.
us beating 100 Thieves and Red beating Shopify. I hope that it's gonna lead to these kind of like mindset changes within the organizations too, where it's like, okay, we can actually compete internationally, you know, and we're gonna take that as a big part of like our brand, not just winning Brazil and dominating Brazil. I mean, I want it to be, and once again, not to shit on other teams because I respect the history and I respect the success, but like at the end of the day, who cares that Loud wins five, six, 8 titles in a row if they do absolutely nothing internationally? You know, at the end of the day, like we gotta strive for something more. You know, That's how I see it, at least, like from a very personal perspective. And
Hmm.
for example, this trip to NA now for the cross conference, we had time there. We had time to
Okay.
prepare. But like talking to, I have a friend who's in G2 as assistant coach there. Talking to him, and then I know Trymbi talked to some people from FlyQuest. Like they feel like to compete at Worlds now in China, for example, you need to go a bit earlier. You need to get like the scrim rust against the Asians off. And I hope that, for example, we go in there now. Hopefully, put up a good fight still. But like, for example, if we go to Worlds again next year as Keyed, maybe that's something we will keep in mind. I mean, take a bit of the investment and put them into preparation for internationals. So hopefully it's gonna lead to that. I just know that the top Western teams think that way, and that's hopefully something we can adopt here in Brazil too, if we keep showing up internationally. Yeah.
All right. I mean, let me just follow up in this subject, because I think it's really interesting. Like
Sure.
when you said that when you arrived here, there was this you got a bit of a shock with the fundamental level of League of Legends that was being played here.
Yeah.
And so you still think that, for example, it's still the entire league needs to come up with those fundamentals? Do you still feel like, for example, I would say, all of our A teams, can you see like good fundamentals in all of those A teams right at this point, or any development from when you arrived?
Oh, no, development for sure, and that's not to be like full negative now, because like since I came here as a player last year and up until this point, so 2 years full of game time, right? I think the region has developed a lot, which is super nice to see. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, Keyed is the only team, I'm gonna shit on Loud and Pay and whatever. But like, think about Furia, for example. I mean, Furia was the team to win this year for me, even going into this third split. I think they were the ones who showed this like first. So props, hats off to Furia. A lot of respect to them. A lot of respect for Fincard. I think who's an excellent coach and I think Talkers did something similar with Red, even though it's maybe not as refined as Furia was, because obviously the players are more rookie and more raw. But I think the region has developed a lot, which makes me feel like, why not? Why not? Why can't we become like PCS? I mean, look at PCS just as an example, right? They were merged all those Southeast Asian regions together, Japan, blah blah blah, and now we have CFO, who people think might be one of the top 6 best team in the world.
Yeah.
Like so let's not kid ourselves. It's not out of reach anymore. I think that's just the I want it to be a positive thing. Where I think we should strive to be better, and I think a lot of the teams are investing more into coaching staff and like realizing this. Like, I think what Fury did with the project was awesome. I think Talkers seems like a great coach, and I think he's brought a lot of that to Red Canids too. And I think Payne is also gonna change up things, hopefully, because I think they have a lot of talented players. Like, I think they have 2 of the most talented Brazilian native players in Karaoke and Titan of all time. Let's be real. So
Yeah.
I think if they can get better, I mean, not better coaches, but I mean, how long was Zero with Payne? Do you guys
Like
know?
a lot. I would say. I don't know exactly,
Like,
but I know
but like
he's there
let's
for a
say
while.
4 or 5 years, right? Something like
Yeah.
that. And to be honest, like, even when Payne beat us, which of course they deserve that, like, all respect to them, they deservedly won. I still think there's like a lot of basic fundamentals that is extremely lacking in their play. So like especially around side laning, I just don't understand some of the things I saw when they went to Worlds, for example. I think they should be better than they were. It's not like to disrespectful at all. I think it's the opposite. I think they had a team that was deserved better. In my mind, at least, like, playing as those players. When I look at them purely individual, wow! If this team had a bit better directions or a bit better fundamental understanding as a whole, I think they could upset some of these European teams. For sure, without a doubt. So hopefully, yeah, we'll keep seeing progress. Hopefully, this Worlds will be a positive experience for us. I'm not gonna be like delusional and say that we're gonna make it out of Swiss or something. But I really hope to see us take some games, and even if we don't take some games, that our players can learn the most out of it and take a lot back to Brazil and keep growing the region. Yeah.
All right, and just adding a little bit more of the, for that subject. For example, we see a lot of teams like winning in Brazil, going to international, and then they show a decent performance. Let's say Pen Gaming last year, like they were for the first time. I would say kind of the how can I say, the matchups that they found on their way.
Yeah.
Were it was really manageable to do that, but when they go back to Brazil, then something happens. I feel like they want to show, or Furia, for example, coming back from MSI, and they're not even going to the cross conference. And
Yeah.
what do you think it happens? What do you think is the reason for all of that?
Like the drop off, you mean?
Yeah, the drop off, like showing a good performance here in Brazil, going play internationally, and then in the case of Furia, like it was 5 games against G2, and then they come back and they cannot find their league again. What do you think? What do you think? What the reason why that happens?
I mean, I think in all competitions, staying on top is like the hardest thing you can do. For a reason. I'm not gonna speculate too much about Furia, but I kind of have a feeling that, for example, Pain coming back from Worlds and now this year, and Furia coming back from MSI, and now this third split, I think it's a bit different because Furia was still like the team to beat in scrims, at least for us. I can't speak for other teams, but I think they were the only team we had like a negative win rate against in scrims out of everyone. So and I don't think it was particularly close. I would like to say that we had like 65% plus win rate against the rest of the teams, and against Fury it was like 45 or something like that.
Okay.
So in Fury, I don't want to speculate, as I said, but I have a feeling it might be something internal. I still feel like they were the team that was the most scary for me. So obviously I was very relieved when I saw that we didn't have to face them in the finals or the winner bracket or whatever, after we beat them the first time. For Pain, I think it's just a bit. I think losing Dinkedo hurt them more than they wanted to admit, and I also think that the meta, maybe they didn't adapt so well to the meta. I would like to say. I think they really figured out the 80 carry mid, AP jungle, path to bot, play around bot meta, and that was like their bread and butter, so to say. And I just don't think they were like on the level. Again, no disrespect. Like fundamentally, as good as a team as Furia was at that MSI and in the spring split. So yeah, I just think for me, Furia was at their best when they played G2, for example, at MSI, on another level than Pain was going. Even though props to them, they beat LLA at Worlds and blah blah. So yeah. But yeah, I just like for real. The thing I want the most, even though I want Kid obviously to keep winning, I want Brazil to be better off as a region. That's really important to me. Because also like just to be completely like transparent, like I mean Chris coming here was huge, right, as a coach.
Yeah.
But even let's say if Chris leaves in 1 year, in 2 years, and he goes to fucking Europe, Korea, North America, I still want CBLOL to be like a team with multiple good teams, challenging each other, helping each other grow. A lot of good strategic minds, helping players that have a lot of talent to reach those levels that they should be able to reach. So yeah, that's where my mind's at least. So
Right.
yeah.
It's really good. And going back to Kate, on the BTS, for example, we saw that you were very confident to face 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw on stage. Like it was a really good game from our side. But against FlyQuest, of course, they are a better team. We didn't saw that much of a confidence. And for example, one of your posts on Twitter was like that you were kind of waiting, like there was like that you just wanted to show a good game against FlyQuest, but you were
Yeah.
expecting because they were fundamentally maybe a better team. And I would like to know, like that if you were, how can I say, if there was any satisfaction on that run in the cross conference. And the second part of this question is if you think that, for example, keep doing what we're doing. If FlyQuest is a team that is reachable, yeah.
Mm. Um, I mean, I'd say I think what you're referring to is like the first time we played FlyQuest. I just think it was very hard because I
Yes.
think our practice was really shit. Our mentality going into the first series against FlyQuest was not great. So I think in that series in particular, obviously I won't say that to the players before the match or anything, but in the back of my head I was like, it's gonna be hard. Like I'm really happy if we can take a game today. That was kind of the mindset I was going into. But then I think our practice was better. I think it was a big wake up call for us, a big reality check. So going into 100 Thieves, I was very confident, as you said, that we should win. Like actually, I felt like we should win, and losing would be a massive disappointment. And then going into the finals against FlyQuest, I also had a feeling that we could win. Like
Okay.
really, I genuinely felt like we could win. But losing, if we put up a fight, maybe wasn't as much of a disappointment. If you catch my drift, because like my personal goal, I can't speak for Chris, I can't speak for anyone else, but my personal goal after we lost the FlyQuest 3-0 was that I set for myself was okay. I want us to be able to beat 100 Thieves, and I want us to put up a fight against FlyQuest, and I'm happy with this trip. And that's what we ended up doing. So I gotta say, all in all, it was a success. Obviously, as a competitor, losing a finals is never gonna feel like a success, especially one that actually ended up feeling quite winnable, like that one. So obviously it sucks, but at the end of the day, I think overall, I see it as a success. I think people should see it as a success. But as well, would like to add that it's only really a success if it's something we can build upon. If it's something we can take into Worlds, build upon, take into next year, build upon, and do better and better and better and better. So yeah. So that goes back to what I said earlier about just like upping the level of the region as a whole. And sorry, what was the last part of the question?
Like if you think that a team like FlyQuest is reachable, like
Oh,
if we
reachable.
can get to their level.
Yeah. I mean that should be the goal. I mean FlyQuest and G2 has been like the two bastions of Western hope for a while now, right? I mean not that long, but it feels like quite a while. So like for example, if you look at North America, I mean no shade to 100 Thieves and Shopify, but like for me, North America is probably a one-team region going into the Worlds. And Europe, that sadly that has been the case for many years now, where it's only really been G2. Even though I think Europe as a whole is probably a bit more competitive than NA, it usually it's just G2 that ends up being the hope, and even G2 has been struggling lately. So so yeah, I mean I really think that they're reachable. I don't think like if you look at league from a completely objective international perspective, like FlyQuest is still not like that insane. Like when you look at it, they're a great team. All respect to them, especially what they achieved in a region that's not that strong globally. I think they should be reachable. Yeah, why not? Like if we have the access to the level of talent that is Mirio and Trymbi to import and to supplement these players with insanely talented people, Brazilian players like Decimus, Ball, Mortius. You know, you think you can make it work. Now, the question is, if we have enough success, are we gonna be able to keep a player like Trymbi and Mirio? That is probably the scary part, for our Brazilian org. But that's why it's a process, and that's why eventually I think it's already taken a turn where like Brazil might be more attractive of a place to be than the European national leagues. That wasn't the case like 3 years ago. Like I was in France, like earning way more than you could in Brazil, but it's slowly shifting. So I think I think I'm not gonna say too much like internally what's going on, but I think if we can compete internationally, I think we can reach the level of a team like FlyQuest and keep like really dream big, as a region. So that's the goal, at least, like we'll see.
Very good. I think there was I think I saw Mais Esports live couple weeks ago. I think like after the matchup against FlyQuest, and I think I saw Kohis saying that would be wonderful if you had Edwards FlyQuest as a team to practice. For example, as a screening partner, for example.
Yeah.
Very good. You can go on, Brad, with the last question if you want.
Okay. I talk now about this week the team in Brazil before going to Worlds. What?
Our preparation.
Yeah. What's the
Sorry.
strategy to keep the focus and the momentum from the cross conference?
To be honest, it has not been easy. I'm just gonna be completely honest, and I don't think it is completely possible. Like that's something that me and Chris talked to me about and to the team about too. That it's just not gonna be possible to keep that level of intensity that we had leading up to the game against 100 Thieves and the finals against FlyQuest in NA. Partly because obviously people are not playing here anymore. I mean, it's we had luckily we had some players who formed mixed teams to scrim us. We had the relegation battle going on, so we had like a few teams to scrim. But we also accepted the fact that it's not going to be possible to have like the same kind of level of practice, same kind of level of intensity. But we tried to make the best of it. We tried to scrim who we could, to have the players play in houses, to still keep in touch with the game. But I think we accepted some kind of like withdrawal from that intensity, and that going to China now, it's gonna be up here again. Okay, like yes, we had some days off. We had some days of less intense practice, and like a little bit of some days break too. Obviously, coming back like 2 or 3 days. But going to China, like obviously they already left, but when they land there, it's gonna be like that level again. You're gonna have to like, there's no time for rest anymore, Like we're like, and also like even in China, we're not gonna be able to scrim the best teams. Like they're not gonna want to scrim us, or they're gonna have the schedules full because they've already been there for a few weeks or 1 week or something. But just the mentality has to shift again. That like, okay, we're back in it. Where you have to you have to forget about everything that's not league, and just do league when you're in China. So yeah, I think it's not the easiest situation. It's not the most optimal situation, but that's just life for everyone. I mean, that's the reason. For example, a team like FlyQuest leaves early to go to Korea to boot camp for a week before they go to China and Worlds. But yeah, it obviously was a challenge, and I don't think we wanted to like delude the players with like, oh yeah, it's the same here, like because it's not like, and it's something we have to accept. And but yeah, I'm not sure. Like I don't think that's like the most satisfactory answer, but that's just how it is. And we want to enable the boys, and we try to enable the boys as much as we could. But like going to China has to be that lock-in moment where it's like, okay, we're back in it, and let's go,
Yeah. And you guys, like in less than a month, you were in. I think it would be in 3 time zones, right? Like Brazil, North America, and now you're going to China, which is really crazy.
The Chinese time zone difference is brutal, bro. It's basically night and day. So,
yes, yes.
I hope the jet lag won't hit us. Leo, actually, shout outs to Leo, our physio. He made like an anti-jet lag plan. So he had the guys like do some procedures while they're in Brazil to prepare for the jet lag, how they should sleep on the flights, and etc. So hopefully jet lag won't be a big issue. I'm praying. For me, I don't care. I can be jet lagged. I'll tank it. But I hope the players won't be jet lagged.
Awesome. Coaching staff gap. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, Smiley. Shall we finish, Brad? I think it's
Yeah.
1 hour, it's a lot of hour. Yeah.
1 hour. 1 and 10 hours. Yeah.
If you guys have anything left on your mind, it's fine, and then we can call it. But I'm fine to call it now too.
I think it's all good. Thanks, Smiley.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, a big pleasure for us. It's a bit of a privilege to have you guys here. I mean, I think Bielzeta was here, also Vax was here, so
Yeah.
I think it's this transparent communication with the fans is really, really important. I mean, I believe the big difference between Vivocade fans and other organization fans that I feel like we really like. How can I say? We have the privilege, to have this, face-to-face conversations sometimes with.
Yeah,
with,
but
fans.
I mean, not to interrupt, but I think also like the privilege has to be ours. The fact that we have fans that care enough to do this kind of thing. I mean, this is something you guys do in your own time, right? Have this little show, and I think for me it's also just like I have time in my day. Like, why not? So I wish I did more of the stuff maybe. So yeah, the privilege is also mine. So I appreciate you guys.
Very good. So you hired. You can be here every weekend if you want.
Yeah.
Actually, my schedule is
I agree.
All right, Smiley.
yeah. No, but thank
Thank
you guys too. Yeah, for
I
reaching out.
appreciate you, Smiley. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, peace out, man. Hey, see you
Bye.
guys.
See
Bye-bye.
you.
É isso aí, galera. Então, Smileyzão, brabíssimo. Cara, incrível. Incrível tudo, né, Onda?
A
Maravilhoso.
lenda.
A lenda.
O coach
Que isso, cara.
veio
Ó,
aqui dar um parecer sobre os acontecidos do passado e do futuro, né?
então,
Vamos ver
cara,
aí.
então. Foi incrível, cara. Eu gostei demais. Mano, ó. Gente, infelizmente peço perdão aí pelo inglês das ruas. O Onda é o nosso
isso,
fluente.
O importante é tentar, Bredão.
O importante é
Você
tentar.
fez muito bem, você arrasou pra caralho.
A cara foi dada, né? Mas é isso, Ondão. Brigadão de coração, meu querido, foi muito bom. Gente, um abraço também para todos os outros membros do Távola que infelizmente não puderam estar presente aqui nessa entrevista. Todos eles queriam estar aqui para trocar uma ideia com o Smiley. Realmente, o cara é incrível. Ele é, pô, é muito cabeça, né, velho?
O cara é um monstro e fala muito bem e dá pra você perceber
Fala, mano.
que a gente tá no caminho certo quando o quesito é coaching staff, porque é um cara muito centrado, muito foda.
Sim,
Feliz.
e eu não sei
Feliz dessa entrevista.
algo que eu acho muito foda, só um comentário after aqui, algo que eu acho muito foda dele é que ele fala do time com muito amor, né, cara? Você percebe isso?
Uhum.
É My Boys, você sente que ele ama fazer o time jogar bem.
O famoso cabeça fria, coração quente, né?
Exatamente, cara.
É
É
um
o paizão,
monstro.
né? Our
É um
father.
monstro sueco.
Magnífico, cara. Odão, brigadão. Galera,
Tamo junto,
lembre-se de...
Bredão.
Quer
É
deixar uma
nóis.
última frase aí pra galera?
Não, eu só quero dizer que é campeão do Worlds. Eu não espero menos que os playoffs.
Eu
E
também não.
surra na Genji. Surra na Genji.
Surra na
Esse Chove
Genji.
não é nada perto do Mireuzão. É isso.
Já prepara a skin de Akali Cade no final do ano, cara.
É nóis.
Tamo junto, galera. Obrigadão. Lembra de curtir, compartilhar, deixa o like aqui, inscreve no canal. A gente faz live todas as semanas. Se você ainda é torcedor da Cade e não segue, o que você tá fazendo, cara? Tá na hora de seguir. Clicar aqui embaixo, deixar aquela moralzinha pra gente e bora mostrar pro mundo que a Cade tem a maior torcida de todas, galera. Um abraço. Valeu, tamo junto, hein?
É nóis.